Welcome back, viewers. The following is part 2 of the Hunt Brothers Snowy Mountains Ride. Enjoy. Classic Clips proudly presents another Hunt Brothers adventure.
7 shadows on the shoulder, chrome waking up the dawn, dust dancing in the mirrors, chasing that horizon on and on.
A quick recap: off to Armadale, bakery at Deepwater, accommodation in Armadale, and meet Billy. Depart for Wellington, the Hunt Brothers. Together at Wellington, Rosie has bike issues, stop at Gundagai, and start part 2 in Tumut.
In keeping with the standards for the Hunt Brothers, arrived into Tumut. This is about day 3. A little bit of fuel anxiety, but we managed to, every town we went to, we got fuel. So we're headed up to Snowy tomorrow, so everyone's looking forward to it. There's been a few bikes come through. Staying at the Ashton Motel in Tumut. And in keeping with true Hunt standard, kaboom! Room for 1 and a room for 2.
Here's democracy manifest. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
After a good rest, the boys awoke to a 10-degree temperature. Almost froze the walls of a bar compy.
Hi to all, I'm Rosie, and I love riding with the Hunt Brothers. I have been riding with them for over a decade now.
How's the ride going so far, mate?
Fabulous. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
The weather's been perfect. We had a better day yesterday. Looking forward to a great day riding around the mountains.
How's that,
and Jindabyne.
electrical problems crazy, mate?
That's frustrating, mate. I don't want to get a reputation as the bloke whose bike doesn't start every time he goes away. I've become a master of bump starting the bike.
Lucky you're a big unit.
And my feet touch the ground. I could give it a push to get it going. It's a pain in the ass, that's what it is.
When gold was discovered in the area in 1854, a small settlement called Reedy Creek was established as a supply point and service center for the mining area, and a Mr. Batlow surveyed a town site nearby. The gold deposits were quickly exhausted, but farmers found the area better suited to a variety of crops. So the mining supply point was moved and the current township established around 1855. Reedy Flat Post Office opened on 1st of August 1873 and was renamed Batlow in 1889. Fruit trees and timber quickly became the main sources of income for the town, and in 1910 the town site was gazetted. Batlow is well known for its apples. About 50 growers in the district supply 1.6 million cases of apples, or 10% of the Australian apple crop, to the Australian market. Home to the famous Big Apple.
Hello, it's Terry Zarzoff here again, and welcome back to part 2 of the Snowy Mountains Ride. After a good rest in Tumut, the boys now make their way to Toombar Rumba. See, I'm starting to pronounce the town's names correctly. Now that Rosie has completed his initial training on the GoPro, he has become quite proficient and has captured some great moments. The group arrives in Tumby or Tumba to the locals, a quick stop to make some final helmet adjustments and then back on the road. Most mornings when riders leave their accommodation and lay down a few kilometers, there are always minor adjustments to gear before settling into the next leg of the ride, so a quick stop was the order of the day. Rolling into Tumbar Rumba Township feels like stepping into a classic country ride stop. Relaxed, welcoming, and made for bikes to cruise straight down the middle of town. The boys said over their cardos never thought we had to worry about buying fuel in country towns as they rode past the local servo. The lads from the motel are riding the same route. As you come into town, the road eases off from the sweepers and tightens into a slower cruise. The air changes, cooler, often carrying that mix of gum trees and wood smoke in winter. Wide, easy main street, good visibility and low traffic. Perfect for a slow roll past the shops. You'll often see bikes lined up out front, Harleys rumbling, BMWs ticking as they cool, and the odd Kawasaki still clicking from a spirited run through the hills. Fuel prices are like the snowy mountains. The closer you get, the bigger they are. The township of Tumby is always a great regional location to travel through on a bike. The riders are all starting to get excited as this is the start of the twisties and even better riding. As classic rounds one of many corners, the scenery opens up to spectacular landscapes. As another rider passes by, the lads say, "How good are these country roads?" The lads decide to stop at the Southern Cloud Lookout, located just 5 kilometers from Tuma on the Tuma Road. On 21st March 1931, the Southern Cloud departed at 8:10 a.m. from Sydney for Melbourne. On board were 6 passengers and 2 crew, including pilot Travis "Shorty" Shortridge and his assistant pilot. Weather conditions en route were hazardous and much worse than predicted. The aircraft never reached its destination and disappeared. The Southern Cloud's fate remained a mystery for 27 years until 26 in October 1958. On that day, Thomas Saunter, a carpenter from New Zealand employed on the Snowy Mountain scheme, made a chance discovery of the wreck while hiking. How good are these views from the lookout the lads stayed over their cardos? Great spot for a quick rest stop. Classic says, this will be an ideal location to throw up the drone. Belly and Rosie take the time to capture a few happy snaps. The view from the Southern Cloud Lookout stretches across Australia's highest mountains, in particular Mount Kosciuszko, which is 2,228 meters above sea level. The group from the motel rolled into the Southern Cloud Lookout to meet the Hunt brothers again. A good chat and some quick-witted exchanges in humor and real man speak. Some happy snaps before the boys departed on the next leg of the ride.
Big long hill down that way, go for 4K. So when that just got long legs.
Back on the road again after a good stop at the lookout, the boys start to pin the ears back and commence the next part of the ride. The boys all said over the cardos as they were riding along, "It does not get any better than this." Or does it, they thought. After dealing with the morning's roadkill, the riders make their way to the Tuma Road turnoff and start their climb up to the township of Konkoben. The riders start to form their motorcycle symmetry, all riders in tune, all riders taking in the unbelievable landscape, eyes wide open, grins on faces like a Cheshire cat. After carefully tiptoeing over the loose gravel, the lads have 35 kilometers to Konkoben. Billy positions the GoPro to capture Classic. And then Belly. And finally Rosie. The lads are confronted with more T-bones roaming around on the roadside. Could this be why these cattle are called grass-fed, they wonder? The landscape continues to be sensational as the riders progress their way up towards the snowy mountains. The odd white snail making its way along the road, time to get a giddy-up. Unusual tractor, the boys say. Wonder what's down the road. And the landscape just keeps giving up to wide open valleys. And finally, the riders get their first roadworks for the day, and it's a cracker. Just what every motorcyclist loves, the try and clean off his bike. Billy takes this opportunity to film himself on the GoPro and capture the magnificent country landscape.
Billy likes to be cool. He prepares his ride for a journey through his favorite landscape. A tropical mango farm is high on his list as a great ride. The smell of the fruit, the dust rising up from his tires, the wind in his face. The evening glow from his headlight illuminate the mangoes.
Hey, Stack, Terry Zarzov's attempt at Aussie humor. The group arrives at Can Koban. Time for a feed, they say. The restaurant. The faces of sheer happiness. And Classic sets up the 360 camera to grab some shots. What's that, Morgan? Morgan. Nissan. After a quick coffee, the lads now enter the twisties on the Alpine Way towards Threadbow and the final stop at Jindy tonight. Riding a motorcycle through the snowy mountains in autumn feels like traveling through a moving postcard. The air carries that crisp alpine chill that slips through your riding jacket the moment you climb an elevation, while the scent of eucalyptus forests mixes with wood smoke drifting from small mountain towns. The roads twist and climb through rolling valleys, dense bushland, and open high country plains, creating a rhythm that feels perfectly matched to a motorcycle. Every bend reveals another scene: golden poplar trees glowing in the afternoon sun, distant snow gums with pale white trunks, and mountain ridgelines fading blue into the horizon. The cooler temperatures make long days in the saddle comfortable, especially compared to the harsh Australian summer heat. Riders often stop beside crystal clear rivers or old timber pubs for a cold beer. The next 25 kilometers, the lads had to contend with a mixture of kangaroos, wombats, deer, and wild brumbies. Just what all bikers need on the twisties. For Hunt Brothers, the snowy mountains are not just about the roads, but the atmosphere that surrounds them. It's the experience of the day's ride. The temperature drops the smell of rain, or wood fire drifts through the air. Autumn gives the region a rugged beauty that feels timeless. Part adventure ride, part escape from the world, and part reminder of why motorcycles and mountain roads belong together. There's also a strong sense of isolation and freedom in the Snowies during autumn. Early mornings can bring fog hanging low over the valleys, with sunlight slowly breaking through and lighting the tops of the mountains. It's the feeling that you are traveling through true Australian wilderness. The sound of the motorcycle echoes differently in the mountains, deeper and sharper against rock faces and forest walls, and every stop feels quieter than the last.
A reminder for the amateur drone pilots. When filming using a drone, always press the record button. In this case, Classic forgot to do so. A wasted opportunity.
So after 15 minutes of flying, Classic scored 10 seconds of filming. So after months of meticulous planning, Classic, filled with excitement of the ride over the Snowies, fucked up the drone footage. He didn't realize he had done so until downloading the footage after the ride. So, with Jindabyne 80 kilometers away, as usual, time to pin the ears back and enjoy the next leg of the ride. This section of the Alpine Way has the most enjoyable twists and turns, a biker's delight, just one of many joys of riding a bike. Classic leads Belly, Rosie, and Billy through the narrow section of road. One of the great things about being in a group of riders who have the Cardo bike-to-bike comms is the ability to call out any issues on the road and also put shit on each other. Classic cranks the Beamer. The autumn air in the snowy mountains carried that crisp edge that only comes before winter settles in. Golden leaves scattered across the winding alpine roads, crunching softly beneath four machines that echoed through the valleys like a distant storm. Classic led the pack, steady and focused on his BMW, his helmet camera quietly capturing every sweeping bend and amber-lit hillside. Behind him, Belly rode with a relaxed rhythm, his own BMW humming like a well-tuned instrument, fitting for a man who always said the road had its own kind of music. Billy wasn't far back, his Harley Davidson Fat Boy rumbling deep and loud, a thunderous heartbeat that bounced off the mountain ridges. He leaned into the corners with surprising grace for such a heavy machine, a grin hidden beneath his visor. Then there was Rosie, quick, sharp, and always calculating, riding his Kawasaki Ninja like it was built for these roads. He darted between shadows and sunlight, keeping just enough distance to watch the others while still enjoying the thrill of the ride. They rolled past snowgums twisted by decades of wind, their pale trunks glowing in the soft afternoon light. It does not get any better than this, they all say. Arriving into Thredbo mid-afternoon, Billy uses his videography skills to capture the ski slopes at Thredbo. No sign of the White Rabbit as yet. There are plenty of activities to do in the ski fields during the summer and autumn: mountain bike riding, bushwalking, catch the ski lifts, or just relax. The lads did not stop at Thredbo Township, keen to get settled into the accommodation at Jindy. The riders catch a glimpse of Lake Jindabyne as they make their way down from the mountains. Taking it easy as they ride along, the boys want to soak up the views. The afternoon sun is starting to set low and the cool air provides a little nip. And after laying down many kilometers, the group arrives into Jindabyne. They arrive at their accommodation for the next few days.
New South Wales. Booked an Airbnb, as you do, with fantastic views. Bikes all parked up for a couple of days. Looking good. Jindabyne Airbnb. March 2026. One set of accommodation upstairs.
The view from the balcony overlooked the township and lake at Jindabyne. The landscape changes with the time of day, from calm and foggy in the morning to cloudy during the day, and at night the sky filled with stars. After settling into the humble abode, it was off to the shops to grab some good old Aussie food to have a cook-up while watching the footy. The lads grabbed a few happy snaps downtown before commencing the cook-up. Bangers and steak sangers was the shout for dinner. A few cold brewskis and some good red wine topped off a great meal. After a very appetizing meal, the boys fell into some serious couch time just before the footy was broadcast on the telly.
Every legend begins with a simple tune on a lonely road. With passion in his soul, he plays for the open road and the wind in his face. Then in a sudden flash, the world gets a whole lot louder. From the highway to the stadium, the dream finally becomes a reality.
After packing up the bikes on a chilly Jindabyne morning, the boys gather up their bags and fire the bikes into life and prepare for the next leg of the ride. After 2 days' rest, they are all charged and ready for a great day of riding. Classic takes point and chats to the other riders over the cardo. "I want to send up the drone shortly," he says. Lake Jindabyne is a major man-made reservoir in the New South Wales Snowy Mountains, created by the 1967 damming of the Snowy River for hydropower and irrigation. A A popular year-round destination, it offers trout fishing, kayaking, sailing, and scenic walks with mountain views. Not to forget, it's the gateway to a rider's dream ride through the snowy. Lake Jind Abine in March 2026 has a water level of 63.54%, down 40% since the high water of spring 2022, and the drop continues at a rapid pace. The beautiful crystal clear water reflects the morning sun as it rises over the hills of Jindi. It's approximately 8:30 in the morning, and the temperature is around 10 degrees. In the 1840s, people came along and settled in the original town of Jind Abine, or Old Jind Abine as it was known, is now underwater. The town was situated on the banks of the Snowy River and was used as a main river crossing for cattle traveling between the Monaro and Gippsland. In 1959, the 250 residents at Old Jind Abine prepared for relocation of their settlements to the present-day Jind Abine. Once the residents were successfully relocated, a demolition squad blew up the bridge before the flooding. Flooding completed in 1967.
Aircraft power off in 5 seconds. Don't let us stop talking. How'd you go, pilot?
We went well.
Where to, Rosie?
What's up?
Where are we going?
I'm going all right, thanks, Billy.
Where are we going?
We're going to Adaminaby.
Adaminaby. Yeah.
And then we're going to Goulburn.
We're going to Goulburn because that place goes off like a frog in a sock.
That's right. But we're going to have a bit of fun on the way getting there.
Perfect, let's do it.
After the lads played Where Fuck Is Belly's Glove He Lost in the Grass, they departed Jindi for Adaminaby. With the warm autumn morning sun beaming down into the manly faces of the riders, they head off to Middling Bank Road, which will connect them onto the Snowy Mountains Highway. Rosie captures. Classic Billy and Belly settling into their riding mojo. Classic has mounted a GoPro onto the rear of his Beamer and captures some great footage as the riders motor their way through the great Australian countryside. The Hunt brothers. Such a beautiful thing. riders pass through another sleepy village in the early morning sun. They prepare to turn off the highway. Peeling off the Kosciuszko Highway, the boys start the run down the Middling Bank Road. This is sensational scenery. The riders are talking on their cardos and saying how the landscape changes around every corner, from undulating paddocks to the rocky outcrops. Man, this is great, they say. The group is coming up to the turn at the Snowy Mountains Highway, now making their way to the township of Ataminaby.
All the cars parked on the right-hand side of the Snowy Mountains Highway contains a small group of tourists who have come to applaud the Hunt brothers as they make their way on the back roads of the mountain country.
Now on the Snowy Mountains Highway, the boys prepare for a spirited run to Ataminaby. The riders prepare for overtaking motorcycle symmetry, and the cameras capture this passing move with grace and precision as they shift through the gears. One down, one to go, they say. Giddy up. The group prepares to bag up the Snowy 2.0 workers' bus. Giddy up. Known as the high country in this part of the globe, the scenery provides the riders with some early morning sensational views of the landscape. Not to mention they all look like they are enjoying the ride down the Snowy Mountains Highway. And, as the riders arrive into Ataminaby, it's time for me, Terry Zarzov, to end Part 2 of the Snowy Mountains ride. Look forward to seeing you all in Part 3. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Classic Clips and leave a comment on your thoughts. Thanks for watching.